Hi, this is Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller, and today I'll be reviewing some movie scenes with magic in them. Now you see me.
A tank full of flesh-eating piranhas will fall from above.
She's going to do an escape. She's being tied up with stuff from, I assume, Home Depot, and she's now going to escape from the. Now she's not doing an escape here. This is a movie. They reshoot this and everything. It's about magic. It's no more. She's no more doing magic than a police officer is actually arresting people during the movie. I believe, if I remember this right, piranha are going to drop in at the end and eat her. But piranha will not attack people like that. We did a whole thing on that with Teller in a tank of piranha, where we were very smugly saying that piranha wouldn't actually bite somebody, and then the piranha bit Teller, which bit his toe really badly and made me laugh really, really hard. Yeah, piranha won't really do that. Sadly, it'd be nice if they did. Oh, and she appears in the audience. Yeah, that's done all the time. Someone on stage vanishes, they appear in the audience. And the great thing is, when you really do that for real, you just walk through the audience and they don't notice you. They're paying attention to the stage. You think everybody's going to be like pointing to you and yelling bullshit, but they don't. You just walk through, spotlight hits you, you're there. The water tank, which is what they're doing a take on in this, is usually associated with Houdini. And it's very important that Houdini had a rule that he wouldn't do anything more dangerous than sitting in his living room. And that's not only an artistic decision, it's also a moral decision. And not just for myself, not self-preservation, it's also immoral to make the audience complicit in unnecessary human risk. The Prestige.
Watch carefully.
We will, we'll watch very carefully.
You'll see no trickery.
We'll see trickery.
No trickery is employed.
Everything he's saying is a lie.
Merely a technique familiar to certain citizens of the Orient and various holy men of the Himalayas.
That's not true either.
What you're about to see is considered safe.
Wasn't that something? He moved a long distance. What could be easier to do than that in a movie? As far as I know, that has no real antecedent. That's no real magic trick. If you did it as a magic trick live on stage, the audience would know you were using twins. You know, there's a sense that movies never get, where everything being done in a magic show has to be in some way plausible. And that's a good example of a trick that would be horrible in a live show, because you've got what's called, and this is more complicated than I'm really going to go into, but it's called the too perfect concept. If a trick is so perfect there's only one way to do it, well, then that's the way you did it. And to move at that kind of distance and that kind of speed would have to be a identical twin. I'm not talking about Hugh Jackman or the overall movie, just that one trick, a little stupid. Ant-Man.
Daddy.
Me too, Peanut. But just wait till next weekend. Once I'm out of here, you and I are going to go paint this town red. We'll have so much ice cream, we'll never stop puking.
That's one of my favorite moments of magic. Of all the stuff we're going to see today, that may be the only thing that was really done. He actually did that magic trick. Houdini. I hope it's a Tony Curtis one. It is. Oh boy. They're putting locks being put in a metal outfit here. This is a little like something Houdini did. This isn't that far off.
Looks as if you've got me pretty well locked up.
I like that they're telling him what to do in this, like he's not the one who built it and designed it and hasn't done it 1,000 times. Oh, yeah, put your hands like this. Yes, I know, I designed the trick. Once you see locks in a magic show, you know they're bullshit, right? The locks belong to the magician. You can have any keys, rig them any way you want.
Will you hold this in front of me?
Oh, yes, surely.
That's a little too high.
Oh, sorry.
But better luck next time.
Very nice. Very nice. What he does there, the adjusting the curtain while you're doing escape, that is a standard gag that Houdini undoubtedly did. One of the things you do in escapes is you're one step ahead. While they're putting you in the next thing, you're already out of the thing before. So he would be out of this before they even put the curtain up, and then able to do stuff. Once again, he mentions there that that the guy built it. Like it was a challenge that the person brought in. Houdini did a lot of that. Houdini did a lot of stuff where the local brewery would build a beer barrel and challenge Houdini to get out of it. Of course, Houdini had sent them that plans for that beforehand. So the guy might have actually made, of course this is a movie, so it's not true, but in Houdini's case, he might have actually had the person make that apparatus, but they would have made it to his exact specifications. He would have escaped from it hundreds of times before that in practice. The Illusionist. This is a trick that Teller is obsessed with. Teller pitches this trick to us to do all the time. He always wants us to do a trick where a seed is put in and a plant grows out of it. Man, Teller loves this trick. I hate this trick. You'll never see this in a Penn and Teller show as long as I'm alive. Now, I believe the magic consultant on this was Ricky Jay. And Ricky was one of the greatest minds that ever lived in magic, and a wonderful person. And Ricky laid this out to be very close to what the magicians would have really done at the turn of the last century. Oh, that's Paul Giamatti. That's Chuck from Billions. In the movie, you see the tree grow, you see the oranges get bigger. When you would see this in a stage show, it'd be covered with a cloth in between. So maybe if it looked like this, it could get in our show, but it's not gonna look like that. It's gonna look like covering up a twig with a piece of cloth and sneaking in another plant while you're doing it. Sucks. Mission Impossible. Wow, this is amazing. They made Tom Cruise look tall. Oh, look at Tom. He's playing the part of a magician. Now, knowing how hard Tom Cruise works, he probably actually practiced that. It's a big thing that's supposed to be going up his sleeve. He made the disc disappear using sleight of hand. Now, if you're going to do that for real, he might have actually done it for real. They might have just taken out a few frames. You just throw that into what's called the top-it. It's a little thing built into your suit coat that's like a big pocket that you can just throw something in. And when he comes in like this, you could do that. I doubt he does, because why bother? He's Tom Cruise. The incredible BURT Wonderstone. This is Teller's favorite magic movie. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're acting out a little high school thing. Oh yeah, they're going to be doing a sword cabinet here.
Trying to concentrate. Behind you.
Yeah, she would not be surprised by where the sword was going to come. That would be rehearsed.
And I was wondering, would you like to see it tonight?
That's essentially the way it would be done, is you do a lot more swords, and the person would be in another more uncomfortable position. And also you'd probably have the cabinet built in a cheating way to give you more room to hide in it as the swords went through. One thing that's very accurate about this is how casual they are. When you're doing these things that look incredibly death-defying, you're very, very, very casual. This is Arrested Development. I know this is a TV show, but TV and movies have become the exact same thing. Now, this is the most realistic thing we've seen so far for magic. This is exactly how real magic is done.
Oh, yes, well, excellent. Let's get you in the box.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is, there's no CGI here. Taking an old guy, sticking him in the box is done all the time.
There's a panel, just flip it around, curl up behind it. Don't make any noise, all right?
He's gone.
In this clip, he tells the gentleman what to do when he gets in the box, and that's called instant stooging. And it's interesting, but you can tell someone on stage to do something, and they just do it. There's hardly ever a question. We don't do much instant stooging because it's kind of not fun, because it's more fun to fool the person who's on stage as well. But that's a technique that's used. And the idea is that you give up fooling one person or to fool the whole audience. But I've just found it more fulfilling for everybody to have the person on stage fooled too. So we have, I think without exception, we always fool the person on stage. Finally, the Magnificent Seven.
Quite miraculous.
You just show us our money, 30, 52.
Oh, this is the new Magnificent Seven.
Got a train right on them. No tricks now.
Yeah, you can't resist picking a card. See, this is just not true. They're trying to show this as you can't resist picking a card, where in actuality, getting someone to pick a card is almost impossible. Go to a party, fan out a deck of cards, say, want to pick a card, everyone will say no. But let's go on.
Commit the card to memory. When you're ready, put the card back in the deck.
Oh, yeah? I like that they're using actually an antique kind of deck. That's nice.
With a shuffle and a cut.
Oh, they got someone doing cardistry in the close-up. That's not in the actor's hands.
Your card.
That's the 3 of
That
hearts.
ain't his card.
You didn't let me finish.
Oh, that's nice.
Is this your card?
Now you see.
He's performing under a lot of pressure there, a lot of pressure. I think I'm better under pressure. We were doing Saturday Night Live in the 80s, which is about as much pressure as we've been under, because you've got, whatever it is, 8 million people watching you, and it really is, no kidding, live. We did a bit that was really, really hard, which was a bit where we were upside down and the audience at home didn't know it, as we could do all these levitation and vanish things with the gravity being up there. So we're hanging upside down all day. We've been working on it for 6 weeks, all the time in rehearsal. And there was an incredibly hard move in it, where I had to, while I'm upside down, I had to do this juggling maneuver. Upside down, looking like I was right side up with gravity backwards. And really, really hard move. And in all the rehearsals, I never did it once right. And then on Saturday Night Live, with all the cameras rolling in front of 8 million people, was the only time I nailed it. So for my personality, you put a couple guns on me, I'm going to do the best performance I'll ever do. Other people, they just throw up. I hope I told you a little bit about how magic is done in movies and how movies talk about magic, and hope you've learned something. But remember, I lie.